Hi, I'm Chris Sherwood, the Secretary-General of the Negative Emissions Platform. The Negative Emissions Platform is a trade association for the carbon removal sector based in Brussels, in Belgium. We're 5 years old, and that's pretty young. But in 5 years, we've begun to make a big impact. We're an association of about 60 companies in the CDR space. Members who are removing CO2 from the atmosphere themselves, members who are buying those carbon removal credits, and other companies which are part of the broader CDR ecosystem. These companies may be marketplaces, registries, specialized VCs, consultancies, or other parts of the ecosystem that really make the market possible. Together, we work to influence the direction that regulations take, the regulations that are required to turn this sector from the small dream that it is today into the huge reality that it needs to be by 2050. The IPCC tells us that we need 5 to 10 gigatons of carbon removals by 2050. Today, that number stands at around 2 gigatons. We have a huge job to do, and it's not going to be easy. There are about 15,000 people working in carbon removals today around the world. By 2050, that will need to be in the millions. We sell about $1 billion a year of carbon removals today. By 2050, that'll need to be much more, like $1 trillion. Our work at the Negative Emissions Platform is done together with our members. Together with the members, we interact with European governments and governments elsewhere in the world, as well as with international institutions like the UNFCCC, the SBTI, and the other alphabet soup of global organizations that are creating the frameworks that will drive carbon removals and climate policy generally around the world. That work with our members is done through working groups, where we work together and they work together with each other to agree on common approaches to how to develop carbon removals in the future. In addition to what we're doing on policy advocacy, we're taking action to build the architecture for an industry of the future. Today, the carbon removals community is basically a small collection of startups and a few big companies that hasn't got any kind of organizational structure. Through trade associations like ours and trade associations elsewhere that are working together as a network and as a community, we will be able to create real strength. We'll be a place for people to contact the carbon removals community, to get in touch with us, to start dialogue about how insurance should work in the carbon removals community, about how we relate to environmental NGOs, about interacting with governments, with the media, with the scientific community. What phone number do you call if you want to speak to the carbon removals industry? Well, we aim to be that phone number.